What's up, YouTube? I'm back with another video. Now, before we start this one thing is I just want to apologize for the last video. I left the face track on my camera. I sincerely want to apologize for that. Essentially, it kept tracking my face and moving around with me as I moved. And while I didn't think it would be that bad before I went to upload, I took a look at some of the comments and you guys actually made me laugh. Someone said they felt drunk while watching. When I went to go look back at the video and watched what he was talking about, it was super distracting. So my apologies for that. Technical error on my part will not happen again. So yeah, I just want to apologize for that and get that out of the way. All right, now that that's out the way, let's get to the main topic of the video. Now, this video is the right cardio for fat loss. What exactly do I mean by that when I make that claim? Okay, so let's say you've been working out for a year or so. You've put on a significant amount of muscle throughout your body. You know, you see that your chest is bigger, your arms, your back, the whole nine, and you're starting to see that you're a lot more muscular than you were before. Perhaps you may even weigh a bit more, but in order to take your physique to the next level, you want to go on a proper cut, or should I say fat loss phase. The biggest mistake that beginners make, and I'm even guilty of this myself, I actually really struggled with this when I was like 17, 18, I just did not really understand the concept behind fat loss until something changed. What changed is I came across the concept of LISS cardio, otherwise known as low impact steady state cardio. Essentially, when you're a beginner in the gym, and I made this mistake myself too, don't worry about it. You think that like the harder, you have this mindset that like the harder I work, then the faster I'll get to my goals. The more that I, put myself through the mill, the more I brutally work myself, the faster I'm gonna get to where I wanna be, and then everything will be all right. Unfortunately, that's just not how the world works. A lot of things in the world do not work like that, and fitness just happens to be one of those things. I sort of feel like losing fat is one of those things where people want so bad, they can sometimes throw logic out the window to try and get that goal just because of how bad they want it. And I totally understand that, because getting leaner and, seeing your abs, seeing some veins for the first time, it is a really, really rewarding feeling. Don't get me wrong, running is good for you, and it's of course, if you like running, then do it. However, if we're coming strictly from the perspective of aesthetics, training to look good, bodybuilding, I don't really like to use the term bodybuilding too often because you don't need to take these concepts to the extreme as a bodybuilder would just to lose fat, just to look good. That's just not true. But it's still very useful to know this information, because if you know what they know, guys who literally train their body for their living, it's literally their whole career. So if you know what they know, it's only gonna benefit you. So LISS cardio, this is an acronym for low impact steady state cardio. When you do low impact cardio, this is why it's best for fat loss. It really doesn't take that much energy, not a crazy amount. Low impact cardio keeps your heart rate in a moderate aerobic zone that's 50 to 70% of your heart rate max. So because of this, your body is able to rely on your fat for energy and really not your muscles at all. So you can have a really intense workout, lift really hard and heavy, and then do low impact cardio, and it's not gonna affect your physique at all. You're not gonna lose muscle. You're literally only gonna lose fat as long as your diet's in check. What people have a hard time understanding, especially beginners in the gym, is that there's a difference between losing weight and losing fat. Weight refers to anything on your body, right? So really what makes up your body is your muscle tissue, your fat, your bone density, and your organs, of course, okay? So obviously, we don't wanna die, so we're not getting rid of any organs. Can't change your bones, right? So all we can do is manipulate our muscular mass and our fat tissue, right? We can grow our muscles and lower our percentage of fat to look more aesthetic, to look better. But here's the problem. If you lift weights or run like crazy, anything like HIIT cardio, sprint, any form of intense cardio, you're gonna be constantly using your muscles, not giving them any break even when you do the cardio. This is because intense forms of cardio like running, sprinting, HIIT cardio, these types of cardio relied on store carbs for energy, your glucose levels, okay? So this is also what your muscles rely on for energy and to push weight. Okay, so you see the problem? You can't just lift weights, grow muscles, and then run to lose the fat, because running, sprinting, intense forms of cardio, you're still using your muscles, so you're not even giving your muscles a break. And let's say you wanted to do the cardio in the morning, like fasted cardio before your lifting session. If you do sprints and really intense running in the morning, that workout that you have later today, you're gonna be significantly weaker. You're essentially gassing your muscles and depleting them of glycogen with the cardio before you even go to lift, which is what their main function is for, to move weight. But low impact cardio, because you don't really need to kill yourself to do it, it doesn't require anywhere near the amount of energy that intense cardio does. You're just gonna be burning through your fat that entire time because you're able to sustain that speed since it's fairly easy and your muscles aren't being used for energy for that activity. Some great examples of low steady state cardio are the treadmill treadmill on an incline. These are like the best cardio options in the gym that I find to do for fat loss. Theoretically, yes, you could do the elliptical or the bike. I just think it's a bit harder to match the intensity on the bike since you're sitting. And when it comes to the elliptical, that can actually be a bit hard to do at a low steady state rate because it tends to be pretty intense. You're moving your whole body. And so I think that the elliptical has the tendency to be a bit too intense for low impact cardio and fall under this category. But when it comes to the Stairmaster and a treadmill on an incline, those are going to be your best friends for fat loss. So if you were to walk at a flat incline, while that is great for you, it's always great to move, it's just going to be too difficult to bring our heart rate where we want it to be in order to lose fat. So at that point, we would have to change the speed. But then, like I said, you're just going back to running, which isn't going to help us in this scenario. So what you want to do is you want to raise the incline on the treadmill. This is the main reason our heart rate is going up. Understand that. It might be a bit overwhelming when you first go to do the treadmill on an incline. I remember when I first started, when I did my first fat loss phase senior year of high school, I hopped on a treadmill and I put it to like 8% and I was like, whoa, this is a bit high. Like I said in my previous video, it's all about adaptation. It's all about acclimating yourself to the process slowly and the steps you take to make yourself more comfortable with that process. If you really focus on that, then success is inevitable. I would say the lowest you want to set the incline to start. And don't get me wrong, any incline's a good incline, especially if you're someone that's really struggling to lose fat. However, I would say try to start with anywhere as low as 8% all the way to 12%. If you can start somewhere in that, that like 4 percentile window, you're going to burn some serious fat in your first 2 weeks alone of your fat loss phase. Just to put this into context, I was 18 years old when I did like my first proper cut. Like I said earlier, I set the treadmill to 8% and I was like, oh my gosh. But slowly but surely, I kept showing up. I kept doing the cardio. Every week or so, I would try to test myself by raising it by 0.5 or maybe by one whole level. After 8% was starting to get easy, I think one week I was like, you know what, let me just do 9. And then slowly I just kept repeating that process. Now guys, I'm 23 years old. It's been years and I do 15% incline like it's no problem. I've actually been to gyms where the treadmill goes up to 20% and I'm able to do that for like a half hour or so, but that's kind of sidetracking. The reason I'm telling you this is because I want you to know that just because you can't do 12% or even 10% right away, it really doesn't mean anything. It just takes time to get used to and have your body adjust to the type of cardio you want to do. In this case, incline cardio. Because I don't really think that many people have just walked up a hill for, a half hour, 40 minutes. What hill is that? What hill is that big and large for you to simulate that with, So it can be a bit overwhelming when you first start walking at a constant incline for like a half hour. And by the way, when it comes to the time, you can get away when you first start, you can get away doing as little as 15 to 20 minutes, but it's the same thing with the incline. You want to keep pushing it up by like 5-10 minutes week to week. Some super basic settings for you to start with your fat loss journey on the incline treadmill would be 8% for 20 minutes. Just try that. See how that goes. Try that for a week. With your diet in check, proper hydration and sleep, you're gonna look at yourself in the mirror every morning and notice yourself starting to look a lot leaner. And don't sleep on the Stairmaster, okay? The Stairmaster is also an excellent option. The Stairmaster honestly does a better job at simulating this incline because that's literally what it's meant for. A lot of my clients in the past have said that the treadmill bothers their shins and joints. If that's you, I completely understand. By all means, the Stairmaster is a perfect option for you to lose fat. Same thing with the treadmill. If it's really hard, start with 15 to 20 minutes in the beginning, but then as you persist and get better at it, it doesn't tire you out as much, then bump it up to a half hour and let's see how that feels. When it comes to the way you want to attack the cardio as you progress in your fat loss phase, copy this super simple method, okay? This is what I did in the beginning. Understand that the better you get at something, this is the principle of diminishing of returns. The better you get at something, the harder it is to continue getting better at whatever that thing is. So now that you know what cardio to do to lose fat, understand that you can't just start doing this every single day and lose a ton of fat all at once. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. The best way to go about this is you want to document your fat loss journey. So let's say it's week 1. On week 1, do perhaps 1 to 2 sessions of cardio. You can do 3, but then I kind of think you're just making it harder for yourself in the future. So start with 1 to 2 sessions that week 1. Whether you want to do them fasted in the morning before your lifts or right after your lifts, it's totally up to you. What matters in the end is your diet and whether you're at a caloric deficit or not. A caloric deficit is the amount of calories you're eating compared to your maintenance. And you want the amount of calories you're eating to be lower than your maintenance in order for you to lose fat. If you break that rule, the calories that you consume are above your maintenance, you are not going to lose fat. So everything I'm telling you, well, yes, it's extremely helpful for you to get leaner. If you are not in a caloric deficit, none of this is gonna help you. And the deficit doesn't have to be crazy. Same concept as the cardio. You wanna slowly manipulate the decrease of your calories as you progress in your fat loss journey. I'm kind of going back and forth, so sorry about that. But back to scheduling your cardio, you want to keep adding a day as the weeks persist throughout your cut. So week 2, you're going to do 2 to 3 sessions of low impact cardio. Week 3, you're going to do 3 to 4 sessions. Week 4, 4 to 5 sessions, etc. I'm sure you see where this is going. You want to keep adding one more session week after week after week. When you do this, your body never really has a chance to understand what's going on, which puts you in a driver's seat the entire time. Because adapting your body to the fat loss process by adding a cardio session week after week and slowly lowering your calories throughout the cut, you're not giving your body a chance to correct itself so that it can defend against what you're doing. You see, the thing with crash dieting is you're never going to lose weight like that because your body's like, oh my God, I need to hold on to everything I get because I'm never going to get any food again. God knows when I'm going to get food again. And it just absorbs everything like a sponge. But when you go about losing weight in a healthy manner, slowly achieving what you need to achieve, not rushing into it head first, taking action with the correct knowledge applied, getting leaner is inevitable in that scenario. If you run, okay, or if you do heavy forms of cardio, you're just going to burn through your muscle and you're just going to get smaller. Understand that. Low impact cardio almost turns your body, your entire body, into like a heat pack. The reason I say that is because it's not intense enough for you to just drop to your knees wheezing. I've worked with so many clients where I put them through low steady state cardio, and I promise you, I seriously doubt these people were better shaped than you watching this video, and they felt nothing from benefits from the whole process. In fact, a lot of them said it actually made it easier for them to lose weight. And you know, it makes sense. The proof is in the pudding. When you do the incline cardio, okay, like I said earlier in this video, it keeps your heart rate in this window of 50 to 70% of your max, which is never really gonna kill you, and it uses your fat for energy, okay? You can do that for 30, 40 minutes and you're not gonna be dying. If you do that consistently, you're just gonna shred through your fat like it's nothing. It's awesome. But if you just try to run it away, that's kind of what I like to tell my clients. If you just try to like run it off the fat, you're just gonna get smaller and smaller because like I said earlier, there's a difference between losing fat and losing weight. When you lose strictly fat tissue, your muscles become more revealed and that actually makes you look bigger even though you're lighter. When you lose weight, your entire body shrinks. So the key message of this video, do low steady state cardio for fat loss. Try it out. Everyone starts somewhere. I don't care if you can't even do 6%. Just try 3% if that's all you can do, okay? Try low steady state cardio and let's see how lean you are even in 1 to 2 weeks. I guarantee you it's gonna make a difference. I don't wanna see you doing any marathons trying to get your abs, okay? That's not how you go about it. Choose the treadmill on an incline or the Stairmaster. Either one, you do either one consistently with the metrics that I gave you, you're gonna get ripped. I can assure you, doing low impact cardio consistently is gonna make you very comfortable with the fat loss process. When you see how lean you become from it, you're never gonna wanna go back and you're gonna implement this into your lifestyle, which is only gonna benefit you, not only make you even more fit, but mentally a stronger and better person as well. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. We're gonna be delivering educational fitness content weekly, so definitely subscribe. Reach out to my Instagram for online fitness coaching so we can work together and change your life. If you made it this far, you're definitely gonna get ripped if you made it this far, but it really does mean the world to me, so thank you so much for watching. All right, guys, have a great day and go get ripped.